Hi Aries, welcome back for your general and love read. I am doing two videos, so there is also the twin flame aspect of your zodiac sign if you wish to look at it. Now, obviously I will do the astrology separately. I can mention transits and I'll tune directly into it. We do have 3 planets going retrograde and Mercury going direct. Although I will do it separate, I can tell you definitely with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, there is a lot of change. There is accountability. With Saturn going retrograde, it is about, what is working, being strict with ourselves. It can denote tower moments, and anything that isn't working and it's not in your highest vibration, obviously energetically it will come through in your read as well as in your life. So never really fear the planets, but do look at them more so as an intuitive way of looking at your life, its perspective, and how you can apply the energy differently to get a better outcome. I'll get into the astrology separately. Now, I've pulled the cards ahead of time and I will be pulling clarifiers. And I'm covering love and your general life. What's coming through for work is, you might be on the money when it does come to something that you need to do. Now, you're in your higher consciousness of your crown and, you know the bigger picture. There's a method to the madness I'm hearing, and it can be very Aries energy. It can be very assertive energy coming through. But I'm also seeing that you've got to be really careful. You might need to take some drastic action to move this situation forward, but check your moral compass. We'll be in the shadow aspect of Mercury retrograde, so some paths that potentially we've picked and we're moving towards will still be in the shadow aspect of that, and there can be a time when we thought something was going to go one way, but it's really going another, and it's not really in our highest good. Know the way you're going, okay? Sometimes we get to a point, and I had discussed this with a client earlier today, we cannot look at the value of what we have in front of us. So it can be where we're coming to a place and we're saying, gosh, we're working to no resolve. Are we really getting anything out of it? And then you can actually look at the other side of the fence of what it was like prior to being in this position and actually give yourself the pat on the back of how far you've actually come. Yes, there is some things that do need to be changed in the way you're applying yourself to your working environment, to whatever you're directly working on. It can also be your employment, really guidance as to, okay, what way is this career going to go? What way am I going energetically to apply for a job, to move into the situation? I feel as though it's like a pressure cooker, like I mentioned last month. Now, it can be that you're coming across quite aggressive in this domain because everyone's wanting a piece of the pie. But at the same time, it can be that you're really moving towards in a very positive light of what you feel is correct for you. Now, you've got to tune into where you are in that journey. At our higher consciousness, with us developing as people, we can pick either side of the fence and all of us will fall into the lower frequency, higher frequency. That's not bad. It's what we do with that information and how we use it to move ourselves forward. That's really going to be the key here. I do feel a lot of base chakra coming through when it does come to your work domain, and I'm feeling as though you might be scared that you can't hold up the family, hold up your end of the bargain in a situation because it's taxing. It can also be causing you a little bit of stress at the moment, that you feel you're just living Groundhog Day all the time, and something in that equation needs to change. I feel you're waiting for something to come in. You're waiting for a change, you're waiting for the communication. And in your financial sector, you've got throat chakra in reverse and communication in reverse. So it can be that you're keeping your cards close to your chest in networking. It can also be that you haven't heard how something's going to go, so it's concerned you. Some of you may have been dealing with a separation and you're waiting for that finance and everything to balance out. That's very separately. But I am feeling as though, you've thought about the situation at work quite a bit. It's caused you grief. Something that isn't balanced is really going to need to come 360 to get this compass back on track, to get to a point where you can have balance back in your life. And it's interesting because on the 20th we had the sun and the moon conjunct during the equinox. Now, with the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine energy, you know, the balance, the yin yang. Again, very, very synchronistic, connected to the sun and the moon, right? Left or right, what way do we go? How do we get this axis correct? How do we get life, work, family, love, balance, finances even? How do we get our spiritual balance? What is balanced? No one can really tell you that. It's internal of what you feel is correct. As I was mentioning to a client, you could be doing a cleaning job, working 3 days a week, and that could create that work-life balance. You could be working from home to create that passion and that balance, but it's really going to be what is particular and individual to you. A lot of us are going through a mass transformation at the 0 degree of Libra on the 21st. It was really ushering in change for us to ask what we're willing to do to get what we feel is correct for ourselves. You've really got to ask yourself, you know, are you selling your soul to the devil? Like, are you working just for the buck, or are you doing something because you really, really have passion and drive for it? Is it taxing you in other domains in your life? Is it affecting your way of living? We're really undergoing this mass transformation of accountability, putting our money where our mouth is, and going and achieving that frequency. With Saturn retrograde, 4 or 5 months, I believe, it's going to give us that time to actually go back and reflect, and it doesn't mean there's no forward movement. We're going to see what is and what isn't working, and it's an assessment factor of that. With your finances, it may be keeping your cards close to your chest. It might be also waiting to hear news in as to how your financial situation is actually going to go and what you can do to alleviate some of the burdens. Some of you may be waiting for a contract. Again, you've got the communication and messenger card in reverse. And, you know, following your intuition isn't working anymore. So you're almost angry at yourself for not following a hunch. But again, don't be, because it's going to show you how to problem solve, how to deal with things. Don't tell yourself lies when it comes to, I haven't heard anything about this contract or this position, so therefore it's not moving. Every delay is there for a reason, and it is connected to divine timing. It's also connected to lessons that we have to help us actually use a different tool within our chakras to manifest those things in. When we're in self-worth, they naturally will come towards us in an openness. A lot of changes in your personality will come about this year, mainly because of Chiron being in Aries, but other things as well. And the way we relate with the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn is changing us energetically. You know, with starting that new cycle on the 21st, it was ushering in that new transition with the 0 degree at Libra, and the shadow sign of Libra is Aries. So for you in particular as well, it is a new way of dealing with things. It's a new way of addressing these areas and dealing with people that have been placing expectations and notions and paradigms onto you to change you to move forward. So it can feel quite rough at times, but it is something that is actually going to free you to a point you can actually manifest a lot better. You can create that finance back into your domain. Now, anything connected to mother, father, siblings, children, family, tribe, you have the emotions card come up. It can be that you feel you're being pulled in many directions. It can be really altering your expressions, your feelings. And I'm hearing it again. Everyone wants a piece of the pie. But it can be you're going into hermit mode because you're just feeling so overwhelmed by everybody needing you. And you've got tunnel vision when it comes to, I have to achieve certain targets. I have to clear away certain aspects of debris. It's just too messy. I'm hearing you call a friend. And it's like voicing your feelings towards them, a bouncing ground to communicate, to let things get off your chest. They actually relate and understand, and they've seen you through various chapters. This could be a love interest, or it physically could be a friend, because your clarifier is sweetheart. It's someone also who's in high vibration to get you out of high vibration. I do feel this is a person that's done a great deal of work on themselves. And the family may not like them. Or the family might not. You may feel like the black sheep of the family, but there's conflict connected to that. A lot of gossip connected to this. So you're keeping your cards close to your chest, but at the same time, I do feel this person, and the card's number 11, so it can be a very spiritual connection you hold with this person that understands and has experienced similar things within the family domain. But I do feel external to your family domain. There is a person, this could be a love interest or an energy that is almost like a guide to you, that really understands what you're going through right now. And I do feel you might be in a bit of a pickle at the beginning of the month with family. You're going to have to keep your cool and keep your chakras balanced. Other people, how they're affecting you at the moment, it can be that, you know, you've got debts coming in, you're concerned about your possessions, you're concerned about your home environment. Some of it might be on somebody else's side of the fence that is going to directly affect you. This could also be if you're going through a divorce very separately, that you're concerned about those things. But it is going to balance out. You're also not wanting to be manipulated. So again, although we'll be in the shadow aspect of Mercury retrograde in the first few weeks, it's lighter. Some aspect of it can be heavier than the very beginning, where it can really peak, where these things come about 360 for change. Read the fine print. If you're signing a contract, read the fine print. What you're not seeing is anger towards yourself is causing conflict in manifestation. So again, it can be very much didn't see the bigger picture coming. Third eye chakra, again, ego related energy moving from the 20th, which is seeping over into this month for you in April. Where you're getting cross Aries and you're saying, God, why didn't I see that coming? How did I miss that? You're being really critical towards yourself. And again, I feel all of us collectively are going to be, especially with this retrograde cycle. But it's lessons and there is movement during that time, so it's not negative. But something is going to give you that clarity to say, wow, I hadn't seen that coming, or I did, but I didn't really react to it. And I sort of hoped it was going to go away, but it really hasn't. And it can be a way of relating to someone. It can be a direct 3D situation with your finances, your employment, your home, especially with the nodes being in those areas. And the retrograde with the Capricorn frequency very heavily coming through. You know, where do we need to change things relating to one another? Where do we need to take accountability with self-expression and owning who we are and accepting ourselves? Sometimes we do come to a place where we feel family, loved ones, loved interest, perhaps is an accepting of self. But then if they were to come to you and be completely open and say, you're the love of my life, you're the person I want, how would you feel about that? Would you be in belief of that? If you're not, it's the work that you need to do to come to that balanced state. Their situation that's going on in their life, in your love interest life, the person that you're tuning into right now, they're wanting to communicate with you. It can be at times that they're very assertive, they're very confident and direct. You're aware of this. And at times with how much they love you, feel for you, think of you, can be vice versa, can be the frequency coming through in yours of what your needs are. But I'm feeling this is more the energy of how they're seeing you and what their situation is on their side of the fence. They're quite overwhelmed. At times when they express things, it's due to situations external to them, which is inside of your life that's directly impacting. And it's causing conflict in the way in which you guys are communicating. They're very cautious. I mean, they previously may have been hurt either by you or another person, and they feel that they're in limbo about how to move all of these situations forward. There could be direct dynamics happening in their life. They're trying to keep as grounded as possible, and it might be sometimes they're unaware of the things that are going on in your life, and they feel quite hidden from that. They do feel that if they had the information of what was happening in your life, that they would be able to be more open and compassionate and understanding, but it's coming across the wrong way. They're also trying, their situation is they don't at times feel thought of. but not intentionally, due to the external conflict that everyone has going on in their life at the moment. It's quite singular energy, even if you are romantically involved or in love. We're doing a lot of healing work at a soul level to manifest things, and the things that they're wanting to manifest in their life have become difficult and tiresome. They are concerned that they do have passion for you, but they're feeling that perhaps due to ways in which your vibration is or your direct life situation is, there's cross wires going on where they're seeing something differently, but they do feel connected. The blocks in their path in dealing with you, being with you, however that goes, is it does get them up in their mind quite a bit. But they're trying to be respectful, understanding. There's a lot of third eye coming through. They do get scared that, you know, in the past maybe there has been an in and out connection, or in the past perhaps in their life they have had people leave them, and that can even be from childhood. It doesn't have to be a partnership energy. So they're really cautious the way they relate to you, but they're trying to look at it from an adult perspective, an intellectual, spiritual perspective. But they feel that there needs to be a balance between you and them. You know, one being the captain, one being the feminine. There needs to be a balance. They're not quite sure. They think there's too many blocks in the path at this point, and they do want a transformation to happen, but they're thinking like something in this equation needs to change to alleviate some of the stress. The chapters, the circles of life, the moving. The blocks are it can be ascension, it can be heavy energy, it can be the frequency they're picking up from you very separately. They're very concerned about you, but they're also concerned in being mature in order to move forward. They're seeing you to be someone who can manifest, someone who's very strong, someone who's very attractive. They're very, very attracted to you. Again, this could be... they're concerned that you've lost passion for certain things, and that could even include them. They don't want to lose you. But they're wondering how this merging and this connection between the both of you, you know, where the light can come from in that. They really want to take this to the next level. They feel you have it in you. But they want to anchor this in. So anything that is being resolved at a 3D level, you know, work, employment, family, burdens, emotional blocks, spiritual blocks, they know you have the capacity to achieve this. So they do have great belief in you, even if there's a lot of pain going on, or bumpy road, so to speak. They do feel you're too concerned about your finances, and that they look at you as more than just an asset. They look at you as a spiritual asset. They know that you feel you wish to manifest and create. This can even you be guarding your heart. They also want you to trust them, but they don't feel at times you trust them. So you let them in a little bit, but then there's times where you're actually handling too many situations. And this can even be friendships where they're trying to assist you. But on a romantic level, I'm feeling your romantic interest partner, even from an observer point of view, is looking at the dynamic saying, hey, I'd really like to be here spiritually for you. I'd really like to help you, but you're not opening up. You're taking on too much on your shoulders. The actions they want to take towards you is to give you space, and they don't want to say anything because they don't want to cause this. They don't want to live a fantasy. They want to live the real deal. They also think that you're really looking over the past and being nostalgic of it, reflecting and healing. But they do think about you very deeply at night, and they do wish for a potential meeting, a potential movement, a getaway. And some sense of clarity to come, some sense of balance that you perhaps can bring to the table, or vice versa. I do feel this movement's going to happen by winter's end or season change. It's interesting because she's like literally looking across at the moon, which to me, in the way I'm looking at it, she's looking this way, which is almost last month, which again, the moon energy was in Libra. at 0 degrees. So she's looking towards you, Aries, or he, in a sense of reflecting back to perhaps something that transpired around that time, or they'd wish to transpire. They're holding you to particular promises, but they're also being flexible with it. They're wanting you to really look at all these different things. They want you to have your hopes and dreams. They're saying you can have it all. What do you want? You can have it all. Maybe that you're looking at it 2-3D. The advice for you, you know the truth inside you. You're not lost. You've got this card in reverse. Again, it's sun frequency, so it can be fair-base situations, the ego, because the sun directly is connected to ego. Ego isn't bad. Ego can be that what drives us to have all the things we wish to achieve in our life. At a lower frequency, it can be our fair-base frequencies, but those are the things that come up to let us be free. So regardless of how you look at it, it's still not a negative thing. There's green and yellow coming through in this card, which is connected to manifestation and heart chakra. The search, feeling lost, confused, and lonely. It's in reverse. So the advice is you know the truth. Okay, I'll let you see the card upright. You know the truth. Be your own best friend. Love yourself. Choose what you feel is in your highest vibration. They're waiting for you. Yes, time's ticking. No, you're both not as young as you used to be. Some of the dreams have gone, but there's many more to be achieved. Come together. Are coming together. Okay. I feel you guys at work are reflecting upon this. I do feel you have a decision to make in the week. I do feel there's going to be movement. I'll leave it at that, and I'll check with you in with the month. Really sit back and think about what you wish. You know, what you wish for, what you want to manifest, because you've got the gold and the green there. I do feel your higher consciousness knows what you're needing to do. And I feel if you tune into it on your side of the fence, again, the energies can swap. Look at where you feel you're spiritually changing. I do feel some of you will leave your job. Others of you are being cautious. If you're doing a business deal, I'm seeing you keeping it really close to your chest. Family, that's going to take a little bit of time. It's building blocks on that. But it can be a dream you're having to let go correlating with family, especially with the nodes being in Cancer, or having to step up to the plate directly connected to it, but it's making you frustrated. Yeah, it's not a celebration. So if you need to let something go, be it a burden, something that is no longer in alignment with you, it might be even your friends moving away. Other people, you know where you're selling yourself short. So if there's people of a lower frequency coming towards you, don't entertain it if you know it's manipulation. Like I said, there's a lot of karmic ends at the moment in the way we relate to each other. The unseen, don't be harsh on yourself. And when it comes to your romance, know that this person's very open to you. You're going through a transitional state. This can be for a very temporary time. Again, if you wish for me to tune into your individual energy, the link will be below for a reading. Otherwise, I'll see you during the month, and I do twin flame live sessions as well. And I'll see you then.